Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Thomas Holman, and I'm going to give you a little brief background of myself. So I was born and raised in Antioch, Tennessee, small town outside of Nashville. Funny thing about it, when I tell people where I'm from, who aren't familiar with the layout of the land of Tennessee, I always say Nashville, but Antioch's an unincorporated city. It's kind of a rivalry, but it really doesn't make a lot of sense because I went to college in Nashville. I was born in Nashville Hospital, etc. So one thing that that's really important to me, or something I experienced in Antioch, was that it's a very diverse area for Tennessee standards. So what I mean by that, it's not as diverse as the Bay Area, but I grew up with Hispanics, Asians, Caucasians, African Americans, Africans, so definitely I feel like that kind of helped me see a different culture and not necessarily have tunnel vision to kind of relate to other people. One thing I got involved in while being in Antioch and growing up, I started playing soccer at 4 years old, which is kind of a funny thing. So being from the South, football's king. I wanted to play football, talked to my parents about it. They're like, you're 4 or 5 years old, you weigh less than 40 pounds. We're not gonna let you do that, right? So started playing soccer, didn't like it at first, really wasn't a happy camper, but come to find out, really enjoy it. I really feel like I learned a lot about life lessons, dealing with adversity, learning how to prepare for stuff. And to this day, I continue to play indoor soccer with a bunch of buddies at Alameda out here, so definitely a lot of fun. But when I made it to high school, I was like, okay, I'm ready to play contact sports. All my friends are playing football, whatever, so let me do that. So my parents, they signed a permission slip, played football. Wasn't what I thought it would be. It was a lot of fun, but I guess I didn't really like getting hit. I like hitting people. So after that, next season, or the season after football, right, so football's fall, wintertime you can play basketball or wrestle or whatever, but for whatever reason, never was really good at basketball. I give you a lot of energy, a lot of effort, but actually putting the ball through the hoop, so I run into a little issue, which is kind of the whole purpose of it. So talked to my parents about, okay, what about wrestling? So my mom, she's a retired English teacher, so she knew a little bit about the sport. She didn't really pay that much attention. My dad, football, basketball, you know, he's like, why do you want to do that? And when I told my mom, she was like, okay, so is that like WWE? Someone's going to hit you with a steel chair or something like that? Like, no, it's not necessarily that. But. So I did that. That really turned out to be my sport. I really feel like I learned a lot through that. But one area that I kind of got tripped up in, so before my junior year, so they have like spring practice or whatever, I had a knee injury. And doctor said, you don't need to continue doing this because of the fact that, you know, prior to that, so when I said that I started playing soccer at a young age, I had one older brother, and the situation, when I first started playing, I was about 5, he was about 7 years old. We were watching a soccer movie at home. And back in those days, like VCR, and for whatever reason, we didn't know how to pause the TV. So my brother, he blows his nose, and me being the greatest little brother in the world, I'm like, okay, let me go get you a tissue. So the floors had just been mopped, floors were just cleaned, it's real slick. So I run to the bathroom, slip, fall awkwardly, and I break my patella tendon. So my legs pretty much just kind of wobbling there. I'm like 5 years old. I don't remember the pain too much, but I remember waking my mom up, and I've never heard her screaming out loud before. So definitely, that's kind of why the whole knee injury, it resurfaced it when I was in high school. But, you know, at that time, I really wasn't happy about that. You know, definitely you lose something you love, but what it offered me, or the opportunity that presented itself, was for me to focus more on my education and high school studies. So I have kind of like a type A personality. When I'm doing something, I kind of put a lot of effort in it, and I can juggle other things, but I kind of get tunnel vision sometimes. So did that, graduated, went to college. I attended Tennessee State University in Nashville, and when it came time to choose my major, it's another funny story about growing up in Antioch. So I used to take a lot of stuff apart, but I didn't know how to put it back together. So I remember one time I took apart our refrigerator. I wanted to see how the compressor worked. Now, that wasn't a good idea. It took about 8 hours to get it back together. And the food in there spoiled. You know, parents were like, what are you doing? That's dumb. But it's kind of funny now because, so I went to college, got a mechanical engineering degree, graduated this past May, and I joke with my parents all the time that, okay, so now I know how to put some stuff together. I can't do everything, but I know enough to be dangerous stuff. So it's kind of a controlled danger type of attitude. But Graduated, moved out here. I work as a design engineer for a major company. It's been a lot of fun. One thing that I've always wanted to get off my bucket list is be a better public speaker. Excuse me, so here I am, Toastmasters. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Thank you, Thomas. So everybody will just take a few minutes and give Thomas some written feedback.
It might be worse.